This podcast is brought to you by Again and Forever. And by Revival, Book 1 of the Unveiled Book Series.
Hey guys, I hope you guys are enjoying this episode. I just wanted to remind you guys, the RE Awards are coming up, and I am in 3 categories. I'm in Best Thumbnail, Best Guest, and I'm in Best Episode. So I would really appreciate it if you guys vote for me, because I really want to win. So if you guys could vote for me, I will leave the link down below. So I hope you guys have a good day, and yeah, please vote for me.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Party of Broadway World podcast. Today we have Stephanie Rosenberg, who was a producer on, or co-producer on Anastasia on Broadway, and a producer on The Town, and so much more. So we're gonna talk to her about it. So let's welcome her in, and yeah. Hi.
Hi. So sorry for the confusion and delay.
No, you're fine.
Very happy to be here. Nice to meet you, Haley.
Nice to meet you too.
So, what do you want to know about Broadway? How can I be supportive?
Well, I would like to talk to you first about, because I've done my research before this interview. I've done research. I did research.
Oh no. What have you dug up from my past? Oh no. Okay, I'm here.
That's bad.
Okay.
I just read that you were a co-producer on Anastasia.
Yes, I was.
Yes,
I
you
was
were.
a co-producer on Anastasia.
So for anyone that doesn't know, can you explain what that entails and stuff, being a co-producer on a Broadway production?
Sure. So, co-producers were mainly known for raising finances for the show. But what gets overlooked is we also participate in supporting on the back end, the lead producer, meaning that we'll help with feedback on marketing or marketing ideas. We'll also give depending on where you come in the process. Like for Anastasia, I came on very early. So I was giving feedback creatively to the lead producer. Some got taken, some did not. But that's the nature of it. Like think of the lead producer as like the CEO of the company. And the best lead producers really utilize their co-producers as almost a BOD, a board of directors. Some people are like, hey, you turned in the money that we needed. Thank you very much and goodbye. But the really good ones are like, hey, let's really collaborate creatively. Let's hear your ideas. And I got to do that on Anastasia quite a bit, where I got to give feedback on marketing and give marketing ideas. And some actually got used and had real ROI for the show. So I'm really proud of that. Yeah.
And then, because as I did the research, there's like a whole list of the shows that you were co-producing and producing, and so, and I'm to understand that you were also a producer on The Town.
Yeah, I was a co-producer on the town too. Yeah, producer and co-producer really gets used interchangeably in the business.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really the way it's utilized in the industry. People will say producer when they mean co-producer. People will say co-producer, and that's really an interchangeable way to speak about the role. You'll have to ask someone specifically, "Hey, were you a co-producer on this?" Or if you're looking at the program, the easiest way to see that. Do I have a program around anywhere? I probably do. You want me to grab a program and I'll try and show you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, actually, you know what? I can pull one up on playbill.com and then share that screen with you. Hold on one second. That's probably the easier way to do this. Because believe it or not, I'm not sitting in a beautiful theater. So trying to show you something is
Not
gonna
the Broadhurst, everybody. Don't worry.
No, not the Broadhurst. Not sitting in a gorgeous theater right now as much as I wish to be. Well, while I'm pulling this up, Haley, I'm sure your followers know all about you, but
Mhm.
I'm learning about you. So tell me a little bit about you while I'm pulling this up on Playbill.
Well, I am an Advent Disney fan, but I'm also an Advent theater lover, as you can see by my background and everything. And um, I actually I usher. I've been ushering since the pandemic. Like since theater opened back up. Actually,
That's amazing.
yeah.
There's a lot of people who like begin their Broadway careers in one way or another as
Mm,
being an usher. Believe it or not, it's not a terrible way to start
mm,
because you get to really learn the theaters and you get to see everybody who's there. So yeah. All right.
mm.
Computer. Play nice.
And so I've been doing that since like 2021 or something like that. So, and I've seen a lot of shows. I've seen Jagged Little Pill like 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, well, once with a paid ticket because I because they first went to East Lansing, so I drove like an hour away just to go see them in East Lansing, and then they came here in Kalamazoo at Miller Auditorium, which is our theater. Um, and they went and they stayed for 2 days, so I saw them 2 nights for 2 nights, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a
All right.
little. I'm a little crazy when it comes to jackets.
Hey, everybody has to love something. I'm terribly biased and I love my shows. So that tends to be where I sit. So when you want to see who's the lead producer and who are the co-producers on the show, when you're looking at a playbill, and all I did, guys, is I went to playbill.com. I
Mm,
looked up my favorite show, Moulin Rouge. And I'm going to zoom in on this so we can see it a little bit better. You're looking at everybody who's above the title, okay? Now you see how you have these three names that are above everybody else, that there's a little separation between this big chunk. You see what I'm talking about here?
mm, yep.
Okay, so these are the names of the lead producers, right? So there you have your lead producers. Moulin Rouge also has an executive producer, which is Bill Damashke. So that's why he's on this line. And then all of us are co-producers underneath. And there you'll see me right there. Right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And the closer to the top of this chunk right here, then the more important you are. Like the bigger your team did, and it might be the earlier you came in, but so the people at the top are the most important when you're looking. So
Mm,
yeah. So that's how you can tell. So you can open up any playbill and now you'll know. You look at the very, very top above. That's what it means to be above the title, because there's the title.
mm,
And so people who are producers are listed above the title, and
mm.
your lead producers are at the very, very top. And then you have all of your co-producers underneath. So I hope that's helpful and educational and supportive.
It
Everybody.
is. Also, upon doing research, I did not know that you were a producer on Moulin Rouge. I didn't see that at all when I
Oh,
was doing
really?
research. That's like the one thing I didn't see.
Yeah, no, I've been part of that since gosh, I joined the team. Let's see, if we did our out of town in 18 Then I joined the team. I think it was like December of, had to have been like December of, was it December of 17 or January? Oh, I mean, December of 16 or January of 17. I joined the team relatively late. I networked for like years to get involved with that show. I worked very, very hard to network to be a co-producer on that show because,
Mm,
it's not just like open season. You have to be invited to be part of a show.
mm,
And so, people start to get used to certain folks and they like to work with certain folks and you start to learn how certain folks think.
mm.
And, you want to work with people you enjoy spending time with, and you've spent time with them on multiple shows. They're the people who you're going to think of for other shows. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I had to work very hard to network to become a part of the show, and I'm very proud of that. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm going to stop the share there so we can go back to me and you.
Okay. Believe it or not, this is the first time I ever seen the screen share thing. So
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I've never I've seen it on the bottom of my screen, but I don't know how to work it. So it's kind of nice to know I could do that.
Yeah, so if you hit that little green arrow, I do a lot on Zoom. So I actually have started a private Broadway community
Mm,
uh over on the school platform,
mm,
okay, called the Broadway Consulting Group. And my whole goal is to support people in pursuing their Broadway goals. And
mm.
so I've done a lot of Zooms with folks who I work with and who I work with one-on-one and whatnot. And I've just gotten used to, you hit that little green button and then you can either share your whole desktop or share something specific. And it just allows you to show them stuff instead of trying to hold it up and figure out where the camera
The
is.
camera is.
Very
Uh,
tough. Yeah. But
yeah.
I'll email you a link to that because it's a cool place to be. So.
Yeah, definitely. Um, and now I do want to ask you too, because I found you on TikTok, funny enough.
Yes, Empress of Broadway on TikTok. Come join the party.
And basically what I've gathered from your lives and actually all of the videos that I've seen of yours on TikTok, which are amazing by the way.
You appreciate that. Thank you.
You kind of teach us a little bit about Broadway, how it kind of works.
Yeah, so I strive to, give some behind the curtain information, as they would say, um, while keeping it fun. I don't want to get
Mm-hmm.
too serious. I'm also
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Broadway nerd. I'm not the biggest Broadway nerd. I've definitely met people who are bigger Broadway nerds than me. But I'm pretty cool. Like the things I'm nerdy about, I'm super nerdy about.
I have a poster that has every single costume of in on Broadway history.
That's so cool. That is
Yeah,
so freaking cool. That's
yeah.
awesome.
From
That's
like
so cool.
from day one, or from like year one all the way down to this year, and
So I'm so curious, what do they call the first year of Broadway on your poster? What do they say the first year of Broadway is?
oh, I think it was like at the age or something. I can't really.
It's okay if you
Uh,
can't get to it
yeah, I
now.
can't get to it right now, but I think I see like the first one being like oh, Elphaba and Glenda's costume.
Okay, so that's probably the most recent from that poster,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, that's definitely not the first Broadway musical. We've been
No,
around longer
but
than that.
it uh, it's like the first of the in the costume department. Like, yeah, just
Look, Wicked has amazing costumes. And God bless David Stone. I mean, David Stone's the lead producer of Wicked, and what he's done to make that show successful is inspiring.
mhm.
It's truly inspiring what he's done. So
Actually, I think Singing in the Rain's the first one on this end. This is the first one that's like Singing in the Rain right here.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's so cool.
yeah.
Cool. So what else would you like to know about me or about Broadway? You asked me a little bit about TikTok, and then we got totally nerded out,
We got totally nerded out.
which I love, which I absolutely love. Um,
Uh,
what would you like to know?
well, y- continuing on with the whole co-producer discussion, I wanted to ask. So, I don't know if co-producers are able to talk to the cast a little bit. Like, do you like have any like experience? Like, I'm trying to figure out a way to word this. Like,
Say it terribly and we'll figure it out. Just say it
okay,
terribly and we'll
like,
figure it out together.
like, do you have any like friends of the cast that you co-produce?
Do you have any friends on cast that I co-produce? I've worked on shows where I've run into somebody enough that I think it would be a misnomer for me to call us friends because they're not the kind of person I would pick up the phone and call on a Saturday night. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
like I'm always happy when I'm in the room and I see they're in the room. And I know they're always a safe person for me to talk to
Mm-hmm.
at the shows or at a show event. Do you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? They're just somebody who I
Yeah.
feel comfortable like chilling with. And if I'm at any sort of thing for a show I'm working on and they're there, I'm just like, oh, I can go chill with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they think I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think I'm a weird Broadway kid. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they make me feel at home and part of the club. And so I would call those, like work friends, just like you would
Yeah.
have work friends.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've cultivated some work friend relationships over the years with some cast members. But I've grown much more close and much more deeper relationships with my other co-producers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to say
Right.
that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Because you're really in the trenches together,
Yeah.
You're really you're going through it together every season,
Mm-hmm.
no
Right.
matter what, whether you're on the
Right.
show or different shows that are going against each other, you know what I mean? In a
Mm-hmm.
category, you're in it together. And so
Right.
yeah, I've cultivated real friendships from that pool of folks more so.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because I was just wondering because obviously you spent a lot of time at Anastasia on Broadway. I'm just wondering if like you had like been able to like talk to the cast and like kind of make friend like quote unquote friends with the cast and everything and
I've
got to
talked
know them.
I've talked to Christine multiple times. I think she's lovely. I think she's absolutely one of the sweetest human beings on the planet, actually, is Christy Altmore. You don't get much nicer of a person than her, except for maybe Betsy Wolf, who I've met a couple of times and who's just also an absolute doll and a half.
My dream to meet Betsy Wolf. My dream.
All you have to do is stage door Anne Juliet while she's still in it. I don't know how much longer
Um,
she's in it though. I think they announced her leaving if I'm remembering correctly. So
yeah.
yeah, but you could go stage door her. She's super, super nice.
Mm-hmm.
Super duper nice. She's not the kind of person who would ever be mean. Like she's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, her and Christy Altmore are just two very lovely human beings for sure. For sure. Yeah, so yeah, so I've met cast, I've talked to cast, I say hi to cast. I try to stay out of the cast way. I'm also an
Right.
actor. I started as an actor. I still act, I still sing. In fact, right before this, I was getting ready. I'm in a reading later this week of Elysian Fields that's going on in New York. And um, I was prepping for that. And so the part of my brain that's an actor was like, hey, if these wonderful human beings are here being actors, I don't want to do anything that's going to like mess up their vibe of where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're busy
Right.
being open and vulnerable, and that takes a certain kind of energy. And I have so much respect for that I'm always
Mm-hmm.
like, unless I know you well, I'm not quite sure how to approach you in those moments because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to disturb whatever your process is.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you might be processing a moment emotionally, mentally, physically, never mind the fact that we're all human beings and having lives, right? Yeah.
Right.
And they're going through whatever that is. So,
Right.
And I tend to be a bit of an extrovert where I would love to just pop up to everyone and be like, "Hi, I'm Stephanie. What's your name? Let's be friends." That's very much who I am. So, I try and be super respectful of actors. So if I'm in a situation like a reading or whatnot, I do try and be like, "Hey,
Mhm.
I get it. You're doing your thing. I'm trying not to disturb them and what they're up to." So,
Right.
yeah,
Mhm.
there you go. That's that's how I approach
That's
it.
good. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
like, if you wanted to be really good friends with everybody, I don't know if it's true post-pandemic, but pre-pandemic, the um the after show hangout used to be the Glass Bar Tavern right in
mhm.
Midtown. It's a bar in Midtown. And that used to be where when cast members got done the show, if they were going to go for a drink, that used to be the place to hang out.
Right.
So if you
Right.
did want to go hang out and see who you can meet at the bar, that used to be the place to go. Um, but I'm not much of a barfly, so I'm just, do my work, I come home, do more work, go to the
Yeah, I
theater,
definitely barely go
do more
drink
work.
and all that. So
Yeah.
just not my thing.
Um,
Breaking news, Charles Manson, the infamous cult leader who led a string of murders in the 1960s.
I'll rise to suicide.
Besides Moulin Rouge, I'm also the director, choreographer, and one of the producers of Saw the Musical, the unauthorized parody of Saw. I don't know if you
Hmm.
saw that in your research of
I
me.
saw that. I'm trying so hard to like see if someone on that cast would it be like be open being interviewed.
Well, sure, just we can talk about that after. That's easy. Like that's
Yeah,
an easy thing.
like
Yeah.
I've have had that on my mind for like a year on how to get that.
Just reach out. Like, yeah, I'll talk to people and see who we can get to have
Right,
this experience with you.
right,
Yeah, and so that's been super cool. We're on TikTok and Instagram and all those
yeah.
things. We're running in New York right now,
Mm.
and we also have a national tour going on all across the US. So tickets are available both places. Definitely check us out. We are a parody musical. It's called Saw the Musical, the unauthorized parody of Saw. And we are a parody musical of the very first movie from the Saw franchise. So I like to say that we're like Little Shop of Horrors meets Avenue Q with a queer bend.
I've seen videos of that, and oh my god, is it hilarious? I love it so much. It's hilarious.
I agree. I agree.
Billy is my favorite. But Billy was like my favorite. The one that plays Billy is my favorite. Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
that's a great track. The actor who plays Billy plays Billy, John Kramer, Amanda, and Allie. They play all four of those characters.
Oh dear.
It's a three-person show. So
Oh my god. I did
yeah.
not know that.
Yeah, it's a three. People are shocked at the end when only three actors come out. Like, no, that's legitimately it's a three-person show.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah,
That's insane.
yeah. Yes, it is. But we did
That's
it. And
kudos to you.
we've been running over a year now in New York, and the national tour has been going since late Feb, so of 2024. So yeah, we've been cruising and grooving. So yeah.
Mhm.
But that's
Mhm.
been a wild ride, wild ride. So I'm very excited about that show for
Mhm.
sure. Very proud of it.
Right. Yeah. So then I also wanted to ask because you're in New York City,
Mhm.
like I said. So like how long have you been in the city?
Oh my goodness. I've been in the city since college, really. I went to college out in Garden City, Long Island, okay, to
Mhm.
Adelphi University. Um, and I just stayed after that.
Mhm.
So I've been here a long time.
Mhm.
A long time at this
Mhm.
point. But I grew up in southern New Jersey, and it was only 2.5 hours to get to New York back then. Now with traffic, it's probably longer, but it used to only take 2.5 hours to get to New York from there. And so, luckily being in that area, I would ask growing up, and usually my birthday present or my Christmas present, something of that
Mhm.
nature, more so my birthday present was often um, that the whole family was going to get to go to a Broadway show, and it was whichever one I picked. And that was my birthday present, is we were
Mhm.
going to go to New York and we were going to see whichever show I wanted to see. And so,
Mhm.
I saw everything from Les Mis, Beauty and the Beast. Those are kind of the big ones I remember that way. But that was,
Right.
yeah. Yeah. I'm probably a little bit older than you. So even like this is how much of a theater nerd I am. After my senior prom in high school, when all of the other kids were going to the Jersey Shore to be wild and crazy, my big thing was to drive to New York to stand outside for rush tickets for the rush, well, for the lottery, really, because it was a lottery back then. For the lottery for tickets to rent, because
Mhm.
I'm a huge rent head, and rent meant and still means a huge deal to me. And I'll ever forever be grateful for the team that got that show up because of how that show touched my life. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's what I did after prom, is I drove to New York. And my prom date and I picked shows, and I went and I got us tickets to Rent, and he got us tickets to Jesus Christ Superstar. And that's how I spent my day after prom. Everybody
Last,
went to
oh
party
my
at the beach.
gosh, that's hilarious. That reminds me though too, because not last oh, yeah, last season, Jesus Christ Superstar came on tour,
Hmm.
and I had never seen it, so I didn't know how long it was, and I I should you not I did not know it did not have any intermission.
Oh,
So I came in like, why isn't it pausing? Why aren't we having a break?
the tour didn't have an intermission?
Yeah.
I could have sworn that show had one. I don't remember though. The last time I saw that show was when I was, what was probably right after senior prom. But the most amazing memory I have of that show is actually when I was younger. There was a national tour of that show when I was much younger, and it came down to Philly. And so my folks took me, my dad took me, I sat with my dad, and the director made this amazing choice. You want to talk about a kind of choice that like can change a whole production? This was this choice. The director made the choice, and I asked people later about it, and they're like, no, that was all supposed to happen. There was actually some like kids in the cast, right?
Mhm.
Which is very expensive to do, but they did
Mhm.
it. And during like what you would almost call the pre-show, what's going on stage as the audience is getting seated,
Mhm.
one of the kids, quote unquote, fell. And you see this kid fall, and not like far, but just like they slipped. It looked like that they had just like fallen and like scraped their knee. No blood or
Mhm.
anything, but that's what it looked
Mhm.
like. I was in first mez of the balcony. And the kid's crying to the point where one of the stage managers, and they're a stage manager because they're in all black with the headset,
Mhm.
comes out, and they're trying to get this kid to calm down. And then all of a sudden, the character of Jesus comes out, lays hands on the kid, and the kid's fine. And they have a big hug, and the kid like walks away. And I was like, that was brilliant. That was the fact that that was a choreographed moment, like I if you were gonna question if this was just a story, if you're really seeing something, like that's the kind of moment that was created. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
just you just healed that kid. Like, where am I? What happened? And when I think I was like 9 seeing that. And when you're like 9-year-old seeing something like that, it's like, whoa, what an impression.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But then, like, you're an adult, and then you're like, it's acting, but
No, as an adult, I get to think, well, like, look, someone could create that kind of magic for me. How can I create that magic for future generations?
right.
Yeah. That's where you get to. And like, and that's a choice you got to make. I feel like I felt it somewhere in like my late 20s. When I was in my late 20s, I hit a point where I was like, all right, I could either get really bitter very fast about no longer being a baby,
Mhm.
or I could be in a commitment to support people the way I wish I was supported and help uplift folk. And I was just like, which life do I want to lead? And so I picked the latter, you know?
Yeah,
And
right.
that's where you can be. So, do you live in New York or are you far away?
I'm far away. I'm in Michigan.
You're in Michigan. Yeah, but there's great theater in Michigan. Where are you in
There
Michigan?
is. I've been living here since I was like a baby, so like I just haven't moved
But
and
where? Where in
oh,
Michigan?
and where in Michigan? Like right
Yes.
in like Portage, the Kalamazoo area. So like right there, I think.
I think our musical wasn't far from there this past summer
Yeah,
because I think we were in Kalamazoo this summer. All right,
yeah,
so you're like there. Okay. Don't you
yeah.
love it? I know Michigan people because I'm like, where are you in
Where
this?
are you?
Because that's like everybody from Michigan is like,
We're
put up
like,
your hand, I'll show you where I
"Hey."
am. That's how you know if you know someone from Michigan. They describe where they are by the palm of their hand.
But that's true, and I don't know why that's true, but it's true. It's just really weird and ironic and just weird.
It's okay. In Jersey, we all describe where we're from by the exit on the turnpike or the exit on the Garden State. That's how you know. That's life's little truisms. It's fun.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's what was.
Uh,
So, do you get to a lot of theater out there?
I mean, I try to. It's just kind of hard because we we start in the fall. We start in like we started like in September, and then we end in like July. So yeah, wait, no, we end in June.
Okay.
So I don't really get much time to in between to go see the anything because usually it's only like once a month, kind of.
Got it.
And
So, are you in college then?
no, I actually graduated high school. I graduated high school in 2017. I didn't go to college. I probably not gonna.
That's okay.
I did my time.
Look, I went to college because I got to study theater. I was a theater major. I was a dance minor in the honors college. If you told me I had to study anything else, I'd probably be in the same boat as you.
Mhm,
Like after college, I then went on to the neighborhood Playhouse School of Theater. I could
mhm,
stay in education if I was feeding what I wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? So I
mhm.
hear that. I mean, if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or
Right,
engineer or an architect, please go to college.
right,
But
right,
it's
right. Please.
but it's okay if college is not for you. That's an okay
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
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 I think like I wanted to go to college for acting and stuff, but um, our my the nearest acting school in Michigan is like a couple hours away, and I don't drive, so like it'd be kind of hard. And plus, I'm handicapped. If you can see my
Oh.
chair peeking.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I
Yeah,
didn't use it before.
yeah. So, and it's so I kind of need like help a little bit, and so I couldn't really live on my own. So that's another reason why I didn't go. So
Yeah. Well, look, there's a lot of different ways to study acting. I know people who do virtual courses. If you want to study it, you
mm,
know, there's some great books I could recommend reading too if you
mm,
want to get into it. I mean, I've been acting since I was 16. I don't even want to say how long ago that was. And I've been teaching acting forever now. So like I can tell you some good resources to at least read if you want to start wrapping your mind around the craft. I mean, it's
yeah,
best working with somebody like in person, but if you can't, you
mm,
can't. So you
mm,
gotta adapt to what your circumstances are, right?
right,
So
exactly,
and make the
exactly,
best of it. Yeah, for sure.
right,
Well,
and like that's why I volunteer usher because that way I learn. You know,
that's awesome.
yeah.
So what theater out there do you volunteer usher for?
It's a theater called Miller Auditorium, which is in Kalamazoo.
Nice.
Yep,
That's so cool.
yep.
That's so
Uh,
cool. I'll tell you this too, if you like watching Broadway shows, there's a great, my friend Bonnie and her husband Stuart, run Broadway HD. Have you heard of it?
yes, I've heard of it actually. Yes,
Yeah, so I like try to describe it to people as like the Netflix of musical theater.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
So you can definitely check that out, and that'll give you access to at least seeing stuff.
Right, right.
So if you can't make it to Broadway, that's a good way to
Mm,
experience Broadway at least, you
mm.
know?
I
So
heard, I heard too that I actually saw this online. Disney Plus is releasing Frozen on Broadway.
are they?
Yeah, the pro shot of Frozen on Broadway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Someone on TikTok had to educate me on this. All right, you'll probably know this. So I go on to the Saw TikTok a lot
Yeah.
just to like see what's been said and to like give some love and all of that stuff.
Mm.
And at one point everybody was like, a slime tutorial, a slime tutorial, a slime tutorial. We need a slime tutorial. And I was thinking, I was like, well, the recipe for the blood, because it's my recipe for blood that was passed down to me from David Brimmer, a very famous fight director who I got to work with, is on YouTube. And I was like, if you mean the blood tutorial, because there's no slime in this show, here is the link to the blood tutorial on YouTube.
I know exactly where you're heading. Oh my gosh.
And they were like, no, that's not what it means. And I was like, I feel old. What does it mean? And
I
they're
know
like,
exactly where you're heading with this.
oh, a slime tutorial means we want someone to bootleg, shoot it,
Yes.
post it online. And I was like, uh. I was like, well, sometimes certain cities we like you gotta just check it out. I mean, like we're around certain cities almost all the time. Like we've been traveling the whole country. Our goal is to get to every state. So I mean, we've done pretty good so far. So like just keep looking at the tour schedule. Our goal is to get to every state. That's our goal. I hope we make it. But we're already like, yeah, we have a lot planned. So just hang on. Keep
Mm.
watching the socials. We also post a lot on our YouTube channel. Like you can watch a lot of the show just by watching the clips and the numbers on YouTube. Not saying you'll get the whole show, but like you can see a good number of it. So yeah, it's out there, but please no slime tutorials because we need people to buy tickets or to watch our social channels because we gotta make money. So you gotta pay everybody.
As you were like saying it, I had it click in my mind. I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about. As you're talking about it, like I know what they mean. I know what they mean.
Had no idea. I know now, but I felt very much like a noob being like, what the hell is this
Oh
slime
my
tutorial?
god.
Ah, but
Because on YouTube you have to call them slime tutorials or else they'll get taken off.
Yeah, as they look, no offense, as they should, only because a lot of people risk, and I don't think people realize this. A lot of people risk a lot of money to
Mhm.
make a show happen because they invest that money, right?
Mhm.
So there's no guarantee they're going to get their money back. And there's a lot of people to pay for a show, right?
Mhm.
Like just on our small little show of Saw the Musical, just in New York, not even on the tour, just in New York, you have the three actors, right? You have a production supervisor who's also operating the booth. You have an ASM running the backstage. You have a PA who's helping during the show to help with cleanup. And you have a company manager. Okay.
Mhm.
That's 7 people just right there. Do you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
that's one company. On the tour, there's more folks and there's more costs because then on the tour you have the cost of housing, um you have the cost of transportation, you have the cost of laundry every week. I mean, like it's just the costs just unbelievably add up. You wouldn't think that, but they do.
Yeah.
So
Right.
every penny counts. And like with Broadway shows, it becomes even bigger because then you have all the unions, right? And
Mhm.
that's why I think we're seeing a lot more non-union tours going out right now.
Mhm.
Um, but even with those, I mean, you have all the actors, you have all of your musicians. If you're not picking up local musicians, if you're picking up local musicians, you're still traveling around with a musical director. You might be traveling around with well, you're traveling around at least with a someone to help plan the lights and hang the lights, someone to do the sound. I mean, it just
Mhm.
can't believe how big these teams are that travel around the country to do these shows. So when people want those videos taken down, it's not because we don't love the community. It's not because we don't want more people to have access. We love that. It's
Mhm.
just the costs of doing business are so high. We need to make sure that people will come to see the show, that's how they're
Right.
experiencing it. And I'd love to be able to film things and put them out there, but in order to do that, you'd have to negotiate with all of the unions, and that
Mhm.
gets expensive very, very fast in and of itself.
Right.
So, yeah, that's why please don't do slime tutorials. Just watch what people are putting on their social channels. I promise you they're gonna give you love. Every show wants to give you love. And if there's something you want to see, like I heard this was amazing, can you show it in your socials? If you send them that message enough, guess what's gonna happen? They'll show it in
Mhm.
theirs. It's like I don't know what else to say about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. And I understand. I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. I think I've always just thought about it as, and I don't know, maybe that's wrong, I don't know, but I like the way I've always seen slime tutorials is like kind of help. I've always thought they were helping almost because like if someone sees a slime tutorial, they're gonna want to go buy a ticket. You know what I mean?
See, I think that's the very interesting conversation. That's the very interesting conversation that I think is happening now. It'll be interesting. It's like when the pro shot came out from Hamilton, and I have not looked or analyzed this, but this would be the thing to look at based on what you said. When the pro shot came out for Hamilton, how did ticket sales do for the next 6 to 9 months for the show?
Mm-hmm.
When the pro shot comes out for Frozen Live, how will the ticket
Mm-hmm.
sales do? Do you know what I mean? Like the question
Right.
comes, does it help or hurt the ticket sales? That
Right.
if it helps, then you made the right choice. If it hurts, so you know, um,
Right.
I think what helps more is doing what Wicked did, is doing what Phantom of the Opera did, which is putting out a movie version, you
Mm-hmm.
know? I think that helps more. Chicago did
Right.
that too. I
Yep.
think those things tend to drive more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think then there's still some mystery of what's it like on stage.
Mm-hmm.
How could they possibly do this in a theater? That would
I
be magic.
love Wicked on stage. I love Wicked on stage. I saw it for my 21st for my 20th birthday. I saw it. Um This was years ago. And then last year when I heard that they were doing Wicked, I got really excited.
The veil between her world and the other realm has faded, unleashing magic into the lives of ordinary citizens. Awakening from a 4-year coma, Tori James discovers a world transformed. For some, like Tori, the unveiling ignites hidden abilities. With her expertise in classical languages, she's drawn into a world of thieves and magic. Join Tori on her magical journey in Book 1 of the Unveiled book series, Revival. Unveil your destiny.
And then I got the novel. The novel is way different than the freaking Broadway version.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
So what's the one thing from the novel? I'd love to know this because I have not read the novel. I'm not going to pretend like I have. What's the one thing from the novel that you wish they had put into the Broadway production that they didn't?
Oh, I would not want any of that in. Oh my god, this book is
Darker?
it's dark. It's, excuse my language, but it's very sexual. I will tell you after this podcast about everything that's in this is what it's in this book, but oh my god.
Well, you know, the book was a New York Times bestseller, so I could see why they optioned it to turn it into a musical because it was like a hit for like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. So I mean, but that was also what, 25 years ago now? I mean, wild to think about.
I'm
What?
just glad that the musical kept out the orgy in the book.
Oh my
There's
goodness.
an orgy in the book with a tiger.
Well then.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you know that about Wicked?
no. No, I did not, my dear. No, I did not. Definitely did not. So that is a new one for me. That is definitely a new one for me. But
If y'all have kids in their room, just skip that part. Skip this part. Skip the.
you can always edit that part out. That's what the editing room is for. But yeah. So what else can I answer you about Broadway? What else do you want to know? What would you like to know about me? Anything else? I think we have like what, 15, 20 more minutes left, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what would you like to know?
I would actually like to know, like, because a lot of people probably would want to be on Broadway one day. I would like to know, like, what it takes to become an actor.
To become an actor.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking just actors.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, people either love or hate my answer. Okay. Discipline, discipline, discipline. And I don't think anybody likes that as an answer because it's not an easy
fun.
answer. And it's not fun. No, it means like being somebody who's going to do your vocal warm up every day, even if you aren't going to an audition that day. It means working on your diction every day, even if you're not going to an acting class that day. It means being disciplined enough to work on things before you get into the room. It means being disciplined enough that if you're going for a certain body type, because there are body types, I'm not gonna pretend there's not right now, as of Wednesday, October 16th, 2024, there are still body types. If you're going for a certain body type, maintaining that body type. Make sense? Making sure you're disciplined with that. Your headshot is always matching what you look like. If you're going to change your look drastically, you're going to be ready, disciplined enough to pay for new headshots to be done. Keeping your resume updated, having a good website, good uh vocal reels, as it were. Do you know what I mean? Like examples of
Mhm.
you singing. All of those things need to be kept up to date, and the discipline to do all of that is a lot. It's a lot. The discipline to just take care of yourself well. I feel like, especially in our society today, the discipline just to take care of yourself well so that you can be an actor physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and then keeping your body and your voice ready for the craft itself. That discipline is just a lot.
Mhm.
So if you're a dancer, keeping up with all your dance classes, if you, God forbid, get injured, being disciplined in your recovery, not pushing too fast, or you could do serious damage, um, but also
Mhm.
not laying on the couch for 2 months. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
it, it takes I think it takes, from what I've seen, and I have not performed on Broadway yet,
Mhm.
yet, but from what I've seen, it takes a lot of discipline. That's what I,
Right.
so, and I think the human beings that do that are amazing. So then it just becomes about networking and marketing and knowing your type and pushing yourself, or I'm not pushing like in a bad way. I mean like challenging yourself. When I say pushing yourself,
Mhm.
challenging yourself to be out there, going for the roles that you're right for,
Mhm.
vocally, physically right for. So yeah, there you go.
Right.
And what I mean physically is like, if you can dance, you're going for dancer roles. If you can't,
Right.
don't go for those
Right.
roles. That's what
Right.
I mean by physically. Let me be very clear on that. You know, that's what I mean. It's like if you're going into a tap show and you don't tap, don't try and audition for that
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by physically. So yeah, it's a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah.
It's, is that helpful? I hope.
Yeah, that's 100% helpful. And I will also say to and this is just like this is just my opinion, is also make sure that you have the money to go because New York is expensive to live.
New York is expensive to live. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it's definitely an expensive place to be. But, Broadway is here.
Mhm.
So this is where your village is. Come.
Right. 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 And I would also probably say too, like, don't expect to book everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely don't. I would tell you even pros will say that they hear no more than they hear yes, right?
Mm. Yep.
That's that's the nature of the industry. You're going to hear no more than you hear yes, for sure.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah. But then you have cool miracles that happen. Like you'll meet somebody who knows somebody else, and someone will drop out of something, and then next thing you know, you got a show just because you were a good human to someone, you know?
Mm.
Or
Mm.
someone saw you perform someplace. And those little miracles do happen. They're not what you're going to get the majority of the time, but those little miracles do exist. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Mm.
I know I came a little late, so if you want to go until 6:15, I can do that if you'd like.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, what time is it? Yeah. Yeah. Um. So then we talked a little bit about everything. So, uh, I do want to. Well, yeah, I do want to ask. If you are actually working on anything else.
Yeah, so let me run down things I'm doing right now again. I'm in a reading for a new musical called Elysian Fields this coming week. I am one of the co-producers on Moulin Rouge, for all of the commercial productions that I was invited to be part of. So I'm part of Broadway, the North American tour, the London production. I was part of the Australian production. I'm part of the world tour that's launching in Edinburgh in April of 2025. So that's super exciting.
Mm.
I'm the director and choreographer and one of the producers on Saw the Musical, the unauthorized parody of Saw, which is running in New York City. Please come and see it. Love to see you there. We are also have a national tour that's going around the country.
Mm.
Check out our website, sawthemusical.com. see where we're going to be. And let's see. And I have a new, and it is new, which is great, private Broadway community over at school.com on that platform called the Broadway Consulting Group. And our goal is to support people in going after their Broadway goals. And I'm really excited about that because I've worked with a lot of folks and I really want to be able to support more folks. And I'm really excited about building a community because within that community, yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to do my best to answer questions because has a community aspect where you can chat and post and whatnot. I'm doing live Q&As once a week. But I'm also excited about the community that's going to build so that we can all support each other, you know, because I might have one way of looking at it. You might have another. And if someone has a problem, we might be saying the same answer, but the way you say it might get through to that person just a little bit better. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm excited to build a community there. And I'm excited to support people. So yeah, so Broadway Consulting Group over at school.com. So if you go to school.com/Broadway/about, you'll find my about page right there. I'll send you the link after if you want to put it in the comments or put it in the captions. And yeah, and I'll send you the Song the Musical link as well. I'm also, like I said, I'm on all the socials. On TikTok, I'm Empress of Broadway. On the Instagram, the fancy Insta, you can find me as Empress of Broadway. You can also find me as Stephanie L. Rosenberg. That is my verified account because that is my name. I'm on Facebook with Empress Productions. Yeah, LinkedIn. I'm on all the things. I'm trying to do a good job, Haley. I'm trying to be on all the things. It's a lot of
Aren't we
things to be
all?
on.
It's a lot of things.
It's a lot of things to be on, but I'm doing my best to be on a lot of things. So yeah, so that's me. Those are the things I'm up to. I'm really excited about. Do you have any questions about the private Broadway community that I've started?
Yeah. So, that was actually one of my final questions. So explain like in a little bit more detail about what that is, basically.
Sure, maybe I can even just show you with that fun share feature. How's that?
Yeah.
See if I can do this. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Let me pull it up. If the computer will be a computer. Oh, computer, no alerts right now. Do not disturb. Okay. How do I get this to go? There we go. So let you see. Okay. This is my master login, so you guys will see it a little bit differently. But so there's a chat. So like you can comment anything right in here. This is the website. You can comment anything right in here. I'm going to do my best to answer all the questions people put in. We have some free classes in this master class. I have how to become a Broadway insider, how to get your show to Broadway, how to build a Broadway career, actors edition. What do producers do, which is probably my most asked question. I do a live Q&A right now on Tuesdays in the morning. Yeah, and then here's my cool about page. Here, I'll play you my little about video. Let me know if you can hear it.
If I had to do it all again, I would have loved to have a mentor. You could go do the hard way and do it the way I did, which was tough because you're doing it alone and you're figuring it out as you go, or you could fast track it and work with someone like me and get to skip a lot of the tough parts. Now, I'm not saying that your journey would be easy because of it, but you get to skip all of the mistakes that I made You get to skip a bunch of mistakes you would make that you don't even know you would make yet. And we can tackle the harder stuff together. And this way you won't be alone. Because when you're trying to figure this stuff out, it's not during the day when you're busy at rehearsal that's tough. It's when you're laying in bed at night awake going, did I make the right choice? Did I do the best thing for the show that day? Did I handle the situation to the best of my ability? And you might still ask yourself those questions. But wouldn't it be great to know that there's someone you can bounce those questions off of, who can give you some feedback, who can give you some support, who can give you some guidance? Or maybe you're just somebody who really wants to come to opening night and meet wonderful people like I did. And you're like, I just want to feel like I'm part of the Broadway community. So I'd say, come and enjoy the community. Come and enjoy the group. Be a part of Broadway.
So that's what we're about.
I love that. I love that video.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that video. I loved it. Like,
Thank you. So yeah, I'm looking to build a really great, strong community there for people who can help each other and give some guidance and support people in making their Broadway goals. And yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to be that bridge that I didn't have before, you know, for people. And so we can all get successful together. So that's really what I want to do. I mean, my goal as an artist has always been to change the world through art. So that's what I'm up to. I'm just doing my best to do that every day. And there we go.
well, judging by everything I've seen on TikTok, you are very you're kind of inspiring because of just of like the way that you're like trying to teach people on TikTok, basically by discussing of like everything
Thank
about
you.
Broadway.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. It means a lot. Yeah. Do my best there. So, I mean, you made my day. If you can't tell, I'm smiling ear to ear. Yeah, I mean, I'm turning pink. I'm like so happy. So thank you for that, Haley. That means a lot. And look, at what you're doing is important too. I'm sure your podcast touches a lot of people's hearts and souls and minds and helps get them through their day and gives them a new perspective on theater and Disney, because I know you love everything Disney, which is like super exciting.
Yeah.
I love Disney too.
Yeah, we just released an episode. I interviewed an author to the newest Disney What If stories, like it's called Sally's Lament, which is what if Sally found Christmas Town instead.
Oh, I didn't know that's what it was about.
Yeah.
Very excited to read that then. I'll have to figure that one out because
yeah,
I love Sally. She's fantastic.
And
I
then
thought it was like a prequel. I was like, Sally's Lament, is that about how she was made and everything that happened before she and Jack got together? No.
And then on Sunday, and I'm giving you guys a sneak peek, on Sunday I get to interview the author of the Fairy Godmother book, Jen Kalowita or something. How do you say your last name?
That's cool.
So I get to do that on Saturday.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's super sweet. See, you're just kicking tush and taking names. You're just making it happen. So that's awesome. So how many episodes have you done? What number are we? Are we number like what are we?
Like season 3 episode like I gotta look. So this is gonna be episode 10, so of season 3.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's exciting. So how many episodes do you do a season?
Well, the first season I only did 4 because I didn't know how long did it go, and I was still learning how to podcast. I've never done a podcast. It's my first one ever, and we've been going for a year now.
Hey, look, we're all learning more every every day. There's not one day that goes by that I don't learn something new. That I often feel like I should have known this by now. But that's life. You always learn something new. Like, how did I miss not knowing that? It's kind of like the slime tutorial. I'm like, whoosh. Oh,
Uh,
that's what that means.
I still think that it's hilarious.
Oh, that's what that means.
Oh my god.
There we go.
I love that. Oh my god. I every time that you say it, I'm like, oh my god.
There's the age gap right there. I just drove a massive truck through it. That's where the semi truck went. Because I didn't know what slime tutorial was.
I'm 25, almost 26, and so that helps. It probably doesn't. Probably
okay.
doesn't.
It's okay. I like to think I still look 25 or 26. As long as I look it, I'm happy. So I'm hoping I'm close. So yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's hilarious. Okay. Well, I will thank you, Stephanie, for coming on.
My absolute pleasure and honor. Thank you for having me on, Haley. I really appreciate it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you want to say what all of your socials are one last time?
Sure, I'd love that. So you can find me on TikTok at Empress of Broadway. EMPRESSOF Broadway. Please tell me you know how to spell Broadway. Okay. You can find me on Instagram at also Empress of Broadway. You can also find me at Stephanie L. Rosenberg. Now you have to put in the L in because someone beat me to it and got the regular Stephanie Rosenberg. So look for my smiling face. All right. And let's see, on Facebook, you can also find me as Stephanie Rosenberg. You can find me as Empress Productions, the Empress Productions. That's my production company, Empress Productions. You can also find me there for University of Broadway, and that'll help lead you to the Broadway Consulting Group. I'm also on X, formerly known as Twitter, as Steph Goddess with 1D and 2 S's. I'm on LinkedIn, and I post every day on LinkedIn. I post every day everywhere. I do my best. I do my best. Sometimes I miss a day, but I do my best. And I think those are the major ones I'm on. But look, I am on those socials every day. If you DM those, I am the one who sees those DMs. Okay. So like Haley will tell you if you message me,
Yep.
I will answer. But that's why I'm starting this school group. If you want to be able to talk to me about this stuff, if you want to have conversations about, what to do next or brainstorm or any of that stuff, the place to really get me is at my new school group, school.com/Broadway/about. So on school.com, if you research Broadway Consulting Group, that's going to be the best place to really chat me up. But yeah, please follow me everywhere. Have a good time. If you love Broadway, I'm so happy to talk to you. Even if you just kind of like Broadway and you're not sure, let's say you're just Broadway curious, come on over.
Broad curious.
Put a toe in. Promise. The water over here is fine. So yeah.
Well, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.